What up, what up, what up? East Coast, West Coast, North, South, worldwide. Welcome to Our Sickle Life. This is Ulyss. I have my guest with me. This is Molly Chen. Say hi to the people, say hi to our viewers.
I say what up, what up, what up. Hi everyone. Nice to be here, I guess.
Well, today we're talking about sickle cell, but we also wanted to have an update on how you're doing. I know with sickle cell there's always up and down on how we feel. Like, one day is good, one day is not so good. And so let us know what's going on with you. I think the last episode we saw you were in the hospital.
Was it?
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
About a year.
So yeah, give us an update.
Well, some good, some bad. I'd have to say that in the last 4 weeks has been the worst for me. I ended up in the hospital with, I wasn't supposed to go. I went to get a blood transfusion. I was feeling fatigued like we all do. We get tired and, I need the blood transfusion to keep me going. So when I went in, something happened between admission, getting the blood, but I woke up to the doctors discussing my, my medical plan with my sister.
Okay.
And then I just heard something about both lungs are really bad. She's got a mass, and I went, mass? What? And then they were also telling me they're gonna put me on a nicotine patch.
Okay.
And I said, well, speak to me, And the doctors came in and said, oh, you're awake, and I'm sort of, lost. So they told me I have a mass on my right lung, which was roughly just under 3 millimeters, I think it is. Yeah, which is about the size of a golf ball, for those who don't know. And I was in shock. I wasn't sure what he was still talking about. And during that week's stay, I have to say, I went in the Friday, and by Saturday, I was, strapped up to machines and everything else. I believe you came and visited me the Saturday, and I was having a hard time breathing. And by Monday morning, a specialist came in and told me I have cancer.
Wow.
So I think I'm still in shock a bit, to be honest.
Not definitely.
I didn't ask what type of cancer it was. It was, I guess, I didn't really want to know. It was, they're telling me I have a right mass, and then I have something about white cancer cells in the left lung, and both lungs are really bad, and it was just bad news. It went from bad to really bad to really bad to 4 weeks later. I couldn't pronounce the name of that cancer. It's screw tumor, something to that effect.
But one thing we want to let people know is that with you, it's to let people know that, although you have sickle cell, you can also have other things that happens to you.
Sure.
You could have diabetes, you can have high blood pressure, you can have, different organ failure because of the sickle cell. But having cancer also happens. You're not the first person that I heard that. Well, you're the first person that I know, very well that have cancer. Although you have sickle cell. But I've heard before that other patients that passed away that passed because of cancer. Also, they had sickle cell. So it's I don't know. It's like a quadruple whammy, because it's like.
Oh yeah, because that's like I have double scoliosis. I have restless leg syndrome. I'm going through menopause. So it's a multitude of things. And I was very proud of myself of getting to age 56. I mean, we are all told, well, most people I know with sickle cell are told that you're never going to get, past 10, and it's 15 and 20. And I think they gave up giving me a death sentence when I was about 35. And I just told myself, live every day to its fullest, let it count.
Yeah.
Don't take anything for granted, which I've always done with my life. And I was very proud that I reached to 56. At the same time, I think it's almost like survival, but survival...
Remorse?
Yeah, remorse.
Yeah.
Like in the last year, I've lost,
like over
you know, four friends that just suddenly died like that.
Yeah.
And they're all under the age of 36.
Yeah.
You know, a couple in their 20s and one in their just last week.
Yeah.
And it's messed up. And I'm going, what? Like, I've been volunteering for 35 years. And it seems like for every 5 steps we take forward, it's like 10 steps back. And, but I dug down deep for me. I always tell myself and my friends, it's me, myself, and I that's got this illness, and that's who's gonna get me through this. Like for you, it might be God, it might be something for somebody else. I went through that, you know, religion and all of that, and when that didn't help, I turned to something else. So, but I was very proud, and I was thinking, you know, I'm only gonna get to age 50, that's it. You know, people ask you that question, what do you see yourself doing in 5 years, 10 years? And I could always answer that. And I saw myself to age 50. And after 50, I didn't see anything else. And, you know, to some extent, I guess the psychosocial issues that is placed on you that says, you know, you'll always have a secondary education and you're not going to amount to anything. I mean, look at yourself. You have a career, you're thriving, you do film, you know. So it's what you can handle, how you handle it, and what you make for yourself. For myself, volunteering was my passion. And so my doctor had told me in the last year to kind of take it easy because I was undergoing a lot of stress. And I did that. And so to be hit with cancer, it's like, I don't know, I'm not gloomy about it. Like, you know,
it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard because I don't have a partner right now. So when I come home, I don't have someone to hold me and say, hey baby, it's going to be okay. You know, so, and I live with my sister, which, you know, to me, I feel I'm a burden. And my friend that just passed, he never had a girlfriend. And that's something he wanted to experience. And he always says, you know, I'm gonna die, I'm not gonna experience these things. And I said, this is why you don't take life for granted. You go out there, you live it, you do what you can, right? And there's people, we all deal with sickle cell differently. You and I have the same thing, sickle beta thal, but it hits us differently. You've been through a lot more than me in surgeries and stuff, where I've been through a different type in a different way. And I might have handled it differently. One of my major things was that I knew I didn't want to bring kids into this world with sickle cell. But at the time I made that decision, it was based on information the doctors had then, you know, which was very little. And I was frightened because they told me, you know, if you got pregnant, the child would come out deformed and this and that. And then it was just a few years after that, I saw friends having babies and families and, you know, and then there's that part where they tell you two people with sickle cell shouldn't mate or have children or families. And that's a load of crap too. You can't help who you fall in love with, but you can be, how would you say, preventative and work through that. If you do get pregnant and your child has sickle cell, that you educate yourself and know what you're getting into. And it's not just you and your partner, but also that child who is going to be in pain and suffering. So you can't be selfish.
How do you manage those things?
Right, you have to be selfless, right? And I know I didn't have much family support, I still don't. I have one sister who really knows how to take care of me when I get sick. And I in turn take care of her when I'm well. But going through this, I have to say, it was so weird because I just had a conversation and I kept saying, you know, they say cancer is so painful and they put sickle cell in this box with the ordinary people and cancer in another box where there's nothing as worse as cancer and the pain is so bad with cancer. And having both right now, I can tell you that physically and emotionally, sickle cell is the worst. Cancer, to me, so far, I don't know if the pain is going to get greater, but it's more of an emotional torture. You know, because
Not
I don't
knowing.
I don't know. It's the unknown, the fear of the unknown, and it sort of plays on your mind.
Also, how do you deal with knowing that the end is near without, like, you know, there's no confirmation, like nobody can tell you, like, you know, how long you're gonna live, you know, nobody's God, but at the end of the day, it's that almost like expiration date that they put on you. Like, you know, let's say they say, like, okay, I don't know, they give you 6 months, a year, or 2 years, whatever, right?
They still do that with sickle cell, though.
No, I know, but I'm saying, like, with cancer, the issue is because it can spread out and it could be, you know, really bad. So when they give you the timeline, like it could be X amount of time, that's the part that makes it harder to deal with.
That's true.
Right? It's because you don't know, like, you know, it's like you wake up today and then you say, like, you know, okay, shit, I only have like X amount of time to live. But with sickle cell, yes, they put that on us, but the timeline was like maybe 10 years, you know what I mean? Maybe whatever. So it was, at the end of the day, longer than cancer in a sense.
Yeah.
And I think it drives us to do two things. Either you live recklessly, or you become afraid and you don't do nothing.
Well,
it's like you go to two extremes.
Yes.
You go to two extremes.
And it's, you know, the mental health aspect of it is that it's hard for me, number one, to reach out and ask for help. Number two, you go to the cancer care places and they say, we have support programs and we have counselors, but I could sooner open up to you and tell you my whole life, my worst dreams and everything else, than I could a social worker. And then for some people, it might be easier for them to open up to. The other thing I want to cover is when someone is trying to reach out and say they feel lonely or they need help, they might not have the words to call you up on the phone and say, I need help. So take the initiative, you know? Take a burger over, take a magazine over. Maybe it's just the company they need. Not a phone call, but just the company. You know what I mean? Like, we all say that, you know, hey bud, I'm here, give me a shout if you need this or that. But sometimes we just feel, I don't know what the word is, but we just don't reach out to that level to really ask.
I think people that suffer, like, you know, all kind of different illnesses, they do feel in a sense of like you don't want to be like the right word that she actually used is like you don't want to be a burden to anybody at all. So having that mindset, like I don't want to be a burden to somebody, even though that I need help, I don't feel comfortable calling for help. It could be for anybody. It could be your family members. It could be your friends. It could be anybody, your partner. It doesn't matter who it is. There's a point where you feel like it's like every time, because we're so dependent on people helping us, it's like it's almost like, and we have, for my case, I can say I have crisis about 6 times a year. So 6 times a year, 6 times a year being in hospital, you know what I mean? So if I'm being in hospital about 6 times a year, and let's say I call you, Molly, like, you know, every time I'm going to the hospital, like by the 4th time I'm going in, I'm gonna second guess, do I need to call Molly? Like, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and I don't feel good, I need to go to the hospital. And then you start thinking, like, you know, why should I bother you? Like, although I know that you understand, and you know, if you're able, you'll do it, but it's just that guilt that we get, I guess. That's basically what it is. And like you said, sometimes we cannot put it into words to ask for help, but that's the call that we're trying to do. It's to let you guys know that it's okay to ask for help. You know, the worst thing the person can say is no. I can't.
You know, recently there's someone in the hospital and they said they felt abandoned and alone, and you know, they don't like asking for help. And you know, we have the group, the support group, and people were pitching in and saying they're there, give me a call if you need help. And rather than I call up that person and say, hey, what you doing? I went and got Taco Bell, and you know, I went and sat down with them and sat for a little while, right? And basically was because I guess I could read in between the lines. And even though I was there, they were still on the, you know, phone, texting away in the group and stuff. But it's the actual present. That's what I'm trying to get at, right? So you can tell me all you want. I'm here, but I'm never gonna call you. That's what it comes down to. You know, I'm just not that person. I'm not going to call and say, because to me it makes me look weak, right?
Well, actually, that's a question I would ask our viewers. It's like, what would you do in that situation? How can we come out of this trap? You know, how can we ask for help? Like, you know, is it okay to ask for help? And what do you guys do to ask for help? What is it?
But do we have to ask though? Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Can you read, you know me pretty well, right? And if you can tell, and if I'm actually saying I'm lonely or I feel, you know, unforgotten,
whatever words you use, yeah. So you actually, you saying it in a way that, you know, I want you to come see me and spend some time with me, but I'm not saying, can you come and spend some time with me? I'm not saying it literally, but I'm saying it to you in another way. So how do you pick up on that, and what do you guys do? Can you please drop us a comment and let us know? Yeah.
Thank you guys, and I hope our next interview I'll stay around. I'm still here. Right?
That's a good point. Yeah. No, we up for that. And actually, you know what? I would like to ask for that call. It's like, we never know how long we're gonna be here in this world. Like, nobody knows. Like, you know, we all know when we come in. We don't know when we're gonna go out. So the point is, when you have something that put like a death sentence over your head, it makes you, like, you know, look at life in a different way. Like, you know, each day actually count. And my call to people would be like, you know, your wish would be, like, you know, to be able to go back and visit your mother's grave back in Jamaica.
Yes.
And this is, like, you know, a trip that could, you know, cost, like, you know, we're talking about, like, it's for you, your niece and your sister, like around $5,000, so Canadian. So we ask people, like, you know, I'm gonna set up like a GoFundMe site on the Molly's name, so that if you guys can donate for the cause, so that she can do that last trip. Hopefully it's not the last, but we frame it that way. Hopefully that she'll be able to actually make it and go, and we're gonna raise as much money as we can, and so that we can send you away, so that you can do what you need to do, and, you know, enjoy, like, you know, whatever moment that's left. You know what I mean? It's like
the only reason I really want to do that, is because we buried my mom in '89, and because of my illness, I haven't been able to go back to see her, and I miss her very much. And I know she's not literally here, but I miss my mother at 56. Really need my mom. I really need to see, you know, and I've been getting news that the cemetery is overrun. And it's something I'd never do, to ask people for this, you know, and I appreciate you bringing that up. I really do. And I do hope I can make the trip before they start treatment, because the only treatment they tell me is radiation, and that's if the cancer is localized. If it's not localized, I'm plumb out of luck. So, you know I have a lot of friends out there, and I hope I've made an impression on you to live life to its fullest. Enjoy your life while you're here, really. And don't take it for granted. Please don't.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Please subscribe, drop us a comment, give us a like if you like it, and see you guys at the next episode. Peace.
Peace.
We're we're gonna be here in this world. Like nobody knows